Hi friends, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Erin Foley, professional development coach and speaker, coming at you today to talk about success. So it's so interesting to me when I ask people the question of whether or not they feel successful. I am told no by people who are starting out in their career, by people who are in management, supervisor positions, by people who are making $30,000 a year and people who are making $2 million a year. So I find this question to be fascinating because often how you feel about your success may or may not be consistent at all with how other people view you. So some of you are going to have people in your life who tell you that you're successful, and your friends view you as successful, and from the outside they seem to think you're successful but you don't feel successful, or you believe that they don't actually believe what they're saying to you. So people tell you that you're successful, but you're like, nah, that's not what they really think. They really think I'm not successful because of X, Y, and Z. And if I were to ask you, what do you need to feel successful in your career? Most of you would be able to give me a really specific answer. So a lot of people say X amount of money. As soon as I hit that milestone, then I will feel successful. A specific job title, a specific promotion, transferring into a completely different industry. There's like a milestone that we usually have in our head that will say, when I hit this milestone, I will then be able to feel successful. When I become really competent and confident in my new job, in my current role, when my boss and colleagues all tell me, you're crushing it and you know what you're doing. And the thing that's so interesting about success is that despite the fact that you have this specific milestone in your head, some of you will meet that milestone. You will suddenly get the raise that gives you the money that you said you needed to feel successful. And what will happen is you will take the target of what you need to hit in order to feel successful and you will move it. So what the brain does is it creates this target that it says, we need to hit this target to feel successful. But the problem is the target moves. And so the closer we get to that target, the more the target keeps moving. And the other trick that your brain does is it says, like, don't you dare claim success as long as there's a target that you're moving towards. So we move through our careers with this constant feeling that, like, I'm not measuring up, I'm not quite there yet, I'm not actually successful. And the problem with this is that the feeling of success actually begets more success and fulfillment and joy in your career. When you can feel successful where you are now, it actually helps you create more success in your life. It helps you move towards more of what you want. So part of what happens with the mind when we move towards success and then we hit it and then we move the target is that the mind is always kind of stuck on negativity bias. So it's always like looking for the spaces where it feels like we don't measure up. And if I move the target, I'm always going to be like failing in comparison to the target. And the other thing the mind tends to do is look forward and not look back in terms of our accomplishments. So what I'm going to offer to you today is an exercise that I think is super important to helping you create the feeling of success in your life now so that you can not only feel more fulfilled, enjoy your career more, but also create more of what you want. And that is to take the conscious time to look backwards. So the truth is, right now, you are experiencing successes that the old you dreamt about having. You're literally living your old dream right now. So there was a time in your life, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, where you were like, if only I could get that job, make this certain amount of money, have enough money to buy a house, whatever it was, you had this dream and you're standing in the middle of it right now. And you've arrived at the destination that the old you could have sworn was going to make you feel successful. And yet you move to the target and you don't feel it. So I want you to assume, what if it's true that you are actually successful right now? And I want you to make a list of all the ways that you have created success in your life and all of the things that you're experiencing right now that the old you wanted. Like, imagine the you 5 years ago, 10 years ago, the you in college who just was like, will I ever get a job? Imagine having a conversation with that person and saying like, yo, here's where I am now. Let me tell you about the things that have happened in my life. And the old you would have been like, damn, if I can experience that, I know I'm going to feel successful. Like I will have arrived. So it's really important to try to connect to the success you have now. Connect to the things that you've created for yourself now, because your mind needs to see, I have created success. I do know how to create the results in my life that I want. But in order to really feel that, you have to look back. So spend some time making a list of all of those accomplishments, all of those dreams that have been fulfilled that you've created in your life, and let that feeling guide you into where you are now. Let that success bring more fulfillment for you in your career now, and let that success be what drives you towards the next thing. Because the more we feel like we have control, we have power over where we're standing, and we can see all of the ways that we've created things that we want, the more we can create more of what we want. So you don't need to be stuck in that narrative of like, I'm not measuring up and I'm failing, and as soon as I get to X, that means I'll be successful. You're there now. You're in the dream that you wanted for your life. At some point, you just keep forgetting to look back. If you want more information on me, check me out on erinmfoley.com. I have free resources. You can learn about my programs. There's great stuff over there. I will be back to give you more great information on how to feel amazing, confident, and move forward in your career.